a lot of people don't know that they can file after April 15th. April 15th is not a hard stop for filing.
Welcome to the Discover Montcalm Podcast, where we are going to look at the communities, the businesses, the attractions, and the people that make up Montcalm County. Here is your podcast host, Duane Weed.
Hello, my name's Duane. I'm the host and producer of the Discover Montcalm Podcast, and I want to thank you for tuning in. We're over 100 episodes now, and we just keep finding more stories about Montcalm County, like the one that I have here today. Bethany joined me back in episode 60. You're from the United Way VITA program, and for those of you out there, we're going to discuss what VITA means, and we're going to take a little bit of a dive into that. You can find all of the Discover Montcalm podcast information on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as discovermontcalmpodcast.com. You can check out all the episodes. As I said, we're over 100 episodes at this point, and we're still looking for stories. So if you're a resident, if you're a business, nonprofit, community, give me a call, 231-250-9624. Now into the show. Bethany, thank you for making the trip, and let's talk about VITA.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. VITA stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, and we are a group of volunteers who prepare tax returns for free.
Okay. I'm sure, like everything else, free is a great term, but it probably has guidelines.
Right.
What are some of those guidelines to be part of the VITA program?
Yeah. So to qualify to have your taxes prepared by us, you have to be at or under an income, and for this upcoming tax season, it is $67,000. So we have quite a high threshold of for income, so we can help quite a few people.
Okay. What are some of the challenges that you face with this program?
Yeah, so part of my goal is to recruit as many volunteers as we can so we can serve a larger audience. And recruiting volunteers to serve with the VITA program is a little difficult because it does have to do with tax preparation. And when I start to talk about volunteering for tax prep, people either they get scared or they fall asleep.
I can understand that.
Yeah, because a lot of people get a little bit nervous about it. But one thing that I want to emphasize to somebody who might be considering is that we don't just need tax preparers. We also need greeters. We also need intake specialists. So there are many opportunities to volunteer, not just with tax prep. And then also, if you do want to volunteer to prep taxes, we provide a very comprehensive training. Everyone is IRS certified. And also there are certain limitations to the tax returns we can prepare. So we're not able to prepare somebody's tax return that is very complicated. So many of the tax returns we prepare, it's somebody that has a job or if they have Social Security. So it's nothing too complicated.
Okay. What are some of the most common tax issues that you follow? I mean, you've kind of listed a few of them right there, but what are some of the most common issues that you deal with?
I don't know if this is necessarily an issue, but maybe just some misinformation. So a lot of people don't know that they can file after April 15th. April 15th is not a hard stop for filing. We do tax prep up until about early October, and we only stop in early October is because they turn the e-filing system off at the IRS.
Okay.
So even if it's past April 15th, don't hesitate to call 211 and have us prepare your tax returns. And then a second thing I would say to that is that a lot of folks on Social Security, they're not required to file a tax return because they don't have taxable income. However, the state of Michigan has special credits that you might qualify for. So if you are a renter or you pay property taxes, I want to encourage you to file your tax return because you could be eligible for a credit, which means money in your pocket.
Sounds like the first thing anybody should do is to call and set up an appointment with you, discuss their particular situation because it's different. I mean, it's not a one size you have guidelines.
Right.
But if somebody is on Social Security or they are a renter or they're doing this or that, meet with you first, go through it, and they can tell you, or you will tell them if you're able to help them.
Yeah, they can call 211 and ask for my work phone number, and if they want to talk through their specific scenario, I'm more than happy to do that.
It's been a couple years since you've been on. You were episode 60, and I know, well, I don't know, but I assume over the last couple years there's been some success stories. Is there a success story that you could share with us?
Yeah, so there's many actually. I'm happy to report that we have increased the total number of households that we were able to serve, not only in Montcalm County, but also in Ionia and Gratiot counties as well. We were also able to increase our volunteer pool, and we partner with Montcalm Community College. They teach a VITA class, and we had a significant increase in the number of students that took the VITA class and prepared taxes with us, and so that's wonderful news.
What are you finding to be some of the long-term benefits of your service to the community? Well,
long-term benefits, I would say, honestly, most of our volunteers are longtime volunteers. So from my perspective, I love seeing them every tax season and getting to know them just a little bit more, increasing the number of tax returns we're able to prepare, because we do it at no cost, and that's usually able to save each taxpayer or tax household an average of $220 in tax prep fees. So for this past filing season in just Montcalm County, we were able to save a little over $69,000 in tax prep fees, and we were able to serve 191 people and also 188 households.
Quite a few success stories, which is great, and it's vital to this community. We're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can be a volunteer to help VITA, whether you're in Montcalm, Ionia, or Gratiot counties. We'll be back right after this.
The Discover Montcalm podcast is brought to you by WGLM 106.3 FM, Be More Media, West Michigan Technology and Design Solutions, and DW Video.
Welcome back to the Discover Montcalm podcast. I have Bethany here from the United Way VITA program, and we've been talking about tax preparation that they provide. Real quick, what does VITA stand for?
It stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance.
The big word there, well, there's actually 4 big words there, but volunteer is what I want to get into right now. What kind of training, what exactly is the training that somebody calls and says, I want to be part of this? How does that start? What's the first training? You talked MCC has a class.
Yeah.
How does a volunteer get into your program and get trained?
So it kind of depends on what exactly they want to do in VITA. We do offer a couple different methods of delivery for training. One is in person, and the other one is online.
Okay.
And then as far as the amount of time trained, if somebody wants to be an intake specialist, that might be 2 hours of training. If somebody wants to be a tax preparer, maybe about 10 hours of training.
And from what I understand, you don't have to be a financial expert to do this. And the look on your face told it all. Because you can train. I would take it somebody needs to know some basic math, have a calculator. There's probably forms that they basically input the numbers. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So we use software.
Data entry.
That's basically what it is too. It's data entry.
Okay.
Very, very seldom do you use math, and when you do, it's usually adding numbers together.
Okay.
And then also I would say that I would want everybody to know that a tax return is always double checked. So we're required to have the tax return go through a quality reviewer. So if you're nervous about preparing somebody else's return, just know that somebody who is very experienced will be checking over that tax return for any mistakes.
which is quality control.
Mm-hmm.
Which is quality control. And, you got to make sure, and I'm sure if somebody's nervous, they just keep asking questions.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got the person that would do the data entry type thing for people. You mentioned the word intake specialist.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the duties of the intake specialist?
Yeah, so when somebody comes to our tax site, they're handed a packet of forms to fill out. And the intake specialist might greet them and then kind of go through those forms with them. And then after the client is finished filling them out, the intake specialist would look through the packet and make sure that the client has all of the coordinating documents needed for us to be able to prepare the return.
Okay. What are some of your biggest challenges? I know Montcalm is pretty rural.
Mm-hmm.
Ionia has, I think Gratiot, all of them are kind of rural. What are some of your biggest challenges for reaching the people that can use your services?
Right. Well, of course, with any nonprofit, there's always a budget constraint. I would love to do so much more marketing than what we're actually able to. So that's one of the issues is not having the budget to be able to market to people, especially in rural areas. We do our best, but only, Facebook posts get you so far.
Right. And not everybody's on it,
Right.
but word of mouth. So anybody that's listening to this podcast, I guess if you know somebody that could need help, send them to 211.
Yep, just dial 211, just like 911, only 211.
But not 911
No.
for this. We want 211, and then just let the people know that, what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to remember VITA.
No.
All you have to remember is there somebody there that can help me with my taxes?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and they know from there exactly where to send it.
Mm-hmm.
So since episode 60 to now, you're increasing the amount of tax returns that you're doing. You're getting more volunteers, but you can always use more.
Absolutely.
Always use more. 211 gets you there from a phone.
Mm-hmm.
What is the website?
Yeah, so if you are looking to volunteer, and we would love to have you, just visit liveunited.mi.galaxydigital.com. That's kind of a mouthful.
And I'll have that on the screen for the YouTube video, and I'll also have it part of the description of the post when it goes off. You travel through, 3 pretty good sized counties. Yeah. I'm sure your mileage is quite a bit.
Yeah.
But as you drive through Montcalm, because we're Discover Montcalm, what are some of the things that you see or have done that makes Montcalm County unique in your eyes?
Yeah, so actually, I'm glad you asked that question because on my way here, I saw something in Coral that I didn't know existed. And I thought, oh, that's so cute. I want to stop by there. It's an antique store at the Lazy Farm. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with that one.
Okay.
But if you talk to them, tell them you know a podcast that would like to talk to them.
I mean, it just had the cutest exterior, and it made me want to stop in. So just those unique finds, I think.
And I think that's the same no matter where you travel. But, Montcalm, Coral, my question is, okay, north, south, east, and west. We'll talk about that off. So we've talked a lot about your program. Is there anything else that I haven't asked that you would like to make sure that our viewers and our listeners know about the VITA program from the United Way?
Yeah, so I guess maybe just some more interesting statistics. So in Montcalm County, we were able to get the refunds for the taxpayers in the amount of $232,000, giving an average refund of about $1,200. And then since I oversee Montcalm, Ionia, and Gratiot counties, refund amounts totaled $602,000, so over $500,000
Wow.
back in refund.
The stats that you just read off, is that over a couple years of just one filing year? How is that represented?
So those are just from tax year 2023, so just this past filing season.
Bethany, from United Way VITA program, the tax preparation program, call 211, ask somebody, hey, I need help with my taxes, and the person on the other end of the phone will know exactly where to send you, and you can set up an appointment and come in and talk to the wonderful volunteers and the staff at the VITA program. Discover Montcalm Podcast, you can go to discovermontcalmpodcast.com, catch all the episodes, grab the RSS feed, put it in your favorite podcast browser. You can look at all the episodes, hear all the episodes. You can go to YouTube and you can watch all the episodes. Or just as you're going, just listen to them as you're driving. Don't watch them while you're driving, please. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram. My name's Duane. I'm the host and producer, and I want to thank you for tuning in and learning more about Montcalm County. And on that note, remember to buy and shop locally.
The Discover Montcalm podcast is produced by content creator Duane Weed, celebrating 40 years at DW Video and Multimedia LLC at dwvideo.com or call 231-250-9624. Connect and follow the Discover Montcalm podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Check out all our episodes at discovermontcalmpodcast.com. We look forward to featuring your business, community, nonprofit, events, and more. Contact Duane at 231-250-9624, 231-250-9624. Thank you for tuning in and following the Discover Montcalm podcast.